everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video we are hopefully going to finish this page from Eriy. So I'll go ahead and zoom you in and we'll get started. Okay, so the first colour that we're going to go in with is Azalea Pink 082, and we're going to make a start on these flowers here. So the first thing that I'm going to do is go ahead and just do a light base coat on them just to get a bit of this pink colour down. So I can't believe that we're actually nearly finished with this page. It seems to have taken so long because I've done quite a few videos now. I think this is going to be like part 7 for this one. So you guys will have to let me know in the comments down below whether you prefer like the half-an-hour videos that I've been doing, or whether you'd like longer videos so that we get more done in one video. Because I didn't want to make the videos too long because I thought half an hour is quite long anyway for you guys to watch. So, you know, if you've got any sort of preference on time limits for the videos, let me know in the comments down below, because I can always make them a bit longer or a bit shorter if you guys would prefer that. So I'm just going to get a little bit of this pink colour down so that we can then add some extra colours to it and see how it's looking. Next I'm going to go in with Cobalt Blue Light 094. So for this I wanted to use it to add like a little bit of shade to the flowers and just to bring a little bit of purple into the flowers as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and use this right close to like the inside parts of the petals. So again, I'm just going to go in with light pressure and just sort of darken up the very inside edge of these petals. So next I'm going to go in with Azalea Pink, which was our pink colour that we started with, and I'm just going to go over the purple with just normal pressure, and then just bring the pink again with normal pressure just a little bit further down the petal, just so that we get like a little bit of a shadow effect, and then we've got the really light pink at the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and do this for all of these little petals. And they don't all have to be the same, because obviously flowers all have sort of like different petals on them. They're not all identical, so we can be a little bit more creative here and just sort of add as much pink as we want or as little as we want to these. So that's really up to you guys as well, like your preference. If you want more pink, you can just go ahead and fill in the whole of the petal in pink. So we'll do the same for this one. Next I'm going to go in with Grenadine 080, so this is a little bit of a darker pink, And I'm just going to go ahead and just use light pressure but fill in the centre of the flower with this colour, just so it's a little bit darker right in the middle. Okay guys, so I'm going to carry on and do the same for these other flowers. So I'll go in with Azalea Pink first and do a base coat. And then I'm going to go back in with Cobalt Blue light and add in the purple again. So I decided to go on Amazon the other day, which is always a daring adventure, and I purchased some more colouring books and some more pencils. So I was thinking I could do a video for you guys, like a haul of like what I got. So if you guys are interested in watching that, then let me know in the comments and I can get that filmed for you guys. Obviously if it's not of interest to you, then just let me know in the comments as well, and I'll just carry on doing the colouring videos. But I know some people do like to see, you know, like what books you've got or what new pencils you've purchased. So if you guys are interested in that, then let me know and I can film that for you when they arrive. I thought it was time that I treated myself to some new colouring books, because I was looking to pick like pages to colour next, and I was thinking I've got a lot of books by the same artists. So, you know, like I've got Kirby Roseanne's books and I've got a couple of them, and I've got a couple of Hannah Carlson, I've got a couple of Joanna Basford's and Rita Berman's, but I haven't really got any other sort of colouring artists. So I went on to Amazon to have a look for sort of like different people that make adult colouring books, to try and get a little bit, you know, like a more diverse range of artists to colour in. Okay, and then I'm going to go back in with Grenadine and fill in the middles of these flowers. And then back in with Azalea Pink to blend out that blue. Okay guys, so that's how the flowers are looking at the moment. So we're going to move on to the leaves around them. And for that I've chosen two different greens. So I've got Castle Green Light as our lighter shade, and then Permanent Green as our darker shade. So I'm going to go in with Castle Green Light first, and I'm going to do like a base coat on these big leaves here. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill them in with light pressure so that we can make sure that we've got the right colours before we sort of burnish it into the paper. Then going in with Permanent Green, I'm going to use this to go around the edges of the leaf, so to sort of darken up right around the edge of the leaf. And then I'm also going to use it to do a central line, so all the way through the middle. And then I'll go back in with Castle Green Light and just go ahead and add a bit more pressure and see if we might need to use a darker colour. Okay, and you can't really see the darkness on that, so we're going to have to pick a darker colour. Okay, so we're going to go in with Castle Green Deep 057 and see if this is any darker. So I'll do the same again, just sort of go around the edges. And then just through the line in the middle. Okay, and that's definitely showing up a little bit better. So I'll go ahead and zoom you in and we'll carry on with these leaves. So going in with Castle Green Light, we're going to go ahead and add the first layer of colour to this leaf. So I'm just going to go in with normal pressure here and just fill this in. Then going in with Castle Green Deep, I'm going to go ahead and go around the edges again, just to sort of darken up the edges and make it look a little bit different so that we've got a bit more colour rather than just one colour on the leaf. So I'll just follow all the lines around. And then again, I'm going to do a line from the middle and over the black line that's already been put in. I'm just going to add a little bit more Castle Green Light. Okay, and I'm quite happy with that, so I'm going to carry on and do the rest of these leaves. So I'll go in with Castle Green Light 059 and go ahead and fill these in. Then going back in with Castle Green Deep, we're going to do the same. So we're going to go around the outside edges of these leaves and then darken up from the middle line to the outer edge of the leaf. Then going back in with Castle Green Deep, I'm going to go ahead and go around the edges of these as well. Okay, so next we're going to move on to these little tiny ones here. What I'm going to do is fill them in the same as what I've done for these ones all the way around. So I'm going to use Oxide of Chrome 063 because that's the colour that we used for all of these bits that we've got going around. So I thought if I do them the same, then they'll all match. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill these in. They're only small, so I'll just fill them in completely. Okay, so that's then filled in the whole way round. So next I'm going to start working on this like frame that we've got around the edge. So I'm going to try and make that look like a gold. So I'm going to go in with cadmium yellow 007. So this is quite like a goldy yellowy colour. And I'm going to go ahead and do a base coat on this, and then we'll use a darker colour to add a bit more brown to it to make it look a bit more goldy. So I'll go ahead and zoom you in. And we'll go ahead and fill in this bit here in between the flowers. Okay, so next going in with yellow ochre 077, we're going to add some shade to this to try and make it look a little bit more gold. So I'm going to go ahead and start shading here by these flowers and just add a little bit of the darker colour into there. And then I'll go ahead and do the same here where these leaves would be casting a bit of a shadow. So I'm just kind of making out like the leaves are on top and just casting a little bit of a shadow onto the gold itself. So we'll go ahead and do the same for these ones. So I'm going to do the shadow on the bottom edge for these, and because they're quite small, we're just going to go ahead and fill in the darker colour all around the little flowers, and then just take it round to the edge. This one here would have a bit of shadow there. So that's that edge done. So we'll move on to this side. So I'm just going to go ahead and darken all these little bits up in here because they would be in shadow. Again, for this bit, I'm going to darken this up. Down here, I'm going to add some shadow. And then we'll go ahead and shade underneath the leaves here. We'll do some around this vine. So that's the first half done. So now I'm going to move on to the bottom half and start working on that. So I think I'll carry on doing the gold for now. So I'm going to go back in with cadmium yellow 007 and do a gold layer all the way around the bottom edge. Okay guys, so that's the gold filled in all the way round. So I'm going to go in with Castle Green Light 059 and start on these leaves. So I'll do the same as what I did up here. So I'll just use normal pressure and fill them in, and then we'll go ahead and add the dark colour in after. Then going in with Castle Green Deep, I'm going to go ahead and outline the edges and do the line in the middle. Okay guys, so that's all the leaves filled in. So next I'm going to move on to the flowers, and I'm going to do these ones slightly differently. So I'm going to go ahead with the Cobalt Blue light and do a base coat on the flowers first. So I'm just using light pressure, and I'm just going to cover them completely with this colour. Okay, so next we're going to go in with Azalea Pink 082, and I'm going to start placing this colour on the insides of these flowers, so sort of like the opposite to what we did on the other side, and just see how it looks. It might be that it's not sort of dark enough and that we need to use a different colour. And I think we do need to use a different colour. So I might go in with a purple rather than a pink. Okay guys, so change of plan. We're going to go in with Cobalt Blue 096. So this is a little bit darker than the Cobalt Blue light. So I'm going to go ahead and go over this and see if we can cover this up. So I'll do the same again. So add a little bit more pressure down here. And then we're going to go back in with Cobalt Blue light and go over the edges. And just leave the lighter patch right at the edge. And then I'm going to use the Cobalt Blue just to fill in the centre so that the centre is quite dark. So I'm going to go ahead and carry on doing this for the flowers. So I'll use Cobalt Blue, which is our darkest colour, and just fill in all of the middles of the flowers. And then I'm going to go ahead and start darkening up the inside edge of these flowers. Then I'm going to go back in with Cobalt Blue light and just go ahead and go around the darker sections that we added, and again just leave the lighter pressure at the very tip of the petal. Now we're going to carry on with 077 and start adding the shade to the gold parts here. So I'm just going to continue doing what I was doing before, so just sort of going around and then filling in anywhere that I want to be a little bit darker so that it's got like a little bit of a shade cast on it. So hopefully you guys can see this on camera, hopefully it's picking up enough. So I'll go ahead and darken under here and then in between these leaves. Okay, and then for this bit I'm going to go ahead and shade under the leaves again like we did. So just add a little bit of darkness under here. So anywhere you want there to be a bit of a shadow, just go ahead and fill that in with the darker colour. So in between these flowers I'm going to darken up because it would be in shade from the flowers. And down here. And follow this along. And we'll darken up here underneath this leaf. And here. And then we'll go ahead and add a bit of shadow to this. And we left off up there, so we were doing the shade on this side, so I'm going to continue shading on this side. Okay guys, so that's our shading done on the gold part all the way around. So next I'm going to move on to these little balls and we're going to fill these in with gold as well. So I'm going to go in with cadmium yellow and do a base coat on them. So I'm just going to fill these in completely. Then going in with yellow ochre 077, we're going to add some shade to these. So I'm just going to go ahead and shade the underneath parts of these. So just sort of add a little bit of a shadow to the bottom edges of these. So we'll go ahead and do the same for this side. So for these ones I'm going to add the shade along this edge. So again I'm just sort of filling in half of the bottom really, just to add a little bit of detail to these. Going in with Sap Green 113, I'm just going to go ahead and fill in this little bit here that I missed. Okay you guys, so that's how it's looking so far. So the only thing that we've got left to do now is the cat, and I don't know what colour to do him. Okay, so next going in with Azalea Pink, we're going to go ahead and do a base on the cat's collar. Actually, we'll just fill it in completely so he's got a nice light pink collar. Okay, and for the cat's fur, I think we're going to do him like a tabby cat. So I'm going to go in with Burnt Sienna 114. And I'm going to start to add like little patches of colour onto him. So I'm going to just do them in sort of like circular motions and just randomly add some little patches to this kitty cat. So I think we'll do one up here. And he can have a bit of this on his tail. So next I'm going to go in with Sepia 070. So this is a little bit of more of a brown colour. And we're going to add a bit of brown to him as well. So I'm just going to take this over where we did the last colour. And I'm just using light pressure for all of this because I want to make sure it looks okay before we go ahead and darken it up. So I'm just taking this all the way around where we added the gingery colour. And I think we'll give him a little bit of a brown patch up here as well. So I'm just using light pressure just to get some colours down and see how it all looks together. And I'm quite liking that, and I like the white in the middle as well. So I think what I'm going to do is where I've added these colours, I'm just going to add a little bit more pressure just to darken it up around the edges, but I still want to leave really light pressure on the outside bits. So I'll go ahead and darken up his little tail. So that I've just filled in with normal pressure. And then I'm just going to add a little bit more darkness here. And here. So I'm just using more pressure and then lifting the pressure as I come away to get a lighter colour. Okay, so I'm going to go back in with Burnt Sienna 114 and I'm going to go ahead and darken up this bit of his tail. And I'm going to darken up this completely as well. We'll go ahead and darken up the inside parts of this. And darken up here. Next I'm going to go with my white 072 and I'm just going to go over the very edge of the brown just to blend that out a little bit nicer. We'll do the same for this orange. Okay guys, so this is how the picture looks. It's finally finished. So it took about 7 hours I think in total to complete this. So I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you like the finished picture. And don't forget to leave your comments down below on what we should do for our next colour along. And I'll see you in the next video.